Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the weekly update. It is September 6th, 2025. We did do it. We did it, Shell. That's right. We are here. We are live. We are doing the things. And guys, it has been a weird week. It's been a strange week. There's a lot of stories about immigration and culture. We get to see Brian Krasenstein lose his mind. Like, it's just been a crazy week. My comments and notifications have been blowing up just because I decided to voice my opinion on a couple of things, and apparently people on the left got a little butthurt about it. But you know what? That's fine. They're allowed to do that. But guys, the big thing that you can do to help out, check out my profile. Go to my profile. Go to the website there. You can see there, patriotdad.org. Go ahead and check that out. That has links to various ways that you can support me. You can see right here. Very well designed by Siraj over there at Time Chain Consulting. It is a Linktree replacement. You can find different ways to support me here. You can buy me a coffee. You can buy merch. You can go to my Discords. You can support my business. You can follow me on X. You can also go to my YouTube and my Rumble accounts. It is all listed there. So please make sure that you check it out. Also, JD Vance did have a good day because he just doesn't give a shit still, which I fully support. And just in general, guys, like the left is becoming more and more unhinged. They do not like being disregarded and treated like they don't matter. Like, it really seems to hurt their feelings that people don't care what they think anymore. I'm here for it. I love to see it. We're covering some of it, but you know what? We're going to start off in our traditional way, which is with Miss Caroline Levitt with the MAGA Minute. So let's check out the MAGA Minute from this week. Let's go.
200 EOs, a Secretary of War, and a trip to the moon. Let's get into it in this week's MAGA Minute. The president began the week celebrating a historic Labor Day as the entire administration continues to deliver victories for American workers, including tamed inflation in gas prices, historic wage growth, and a renewed focus on apprenticeships and workforce training.
Because we all know that upper schooling, like universities, master's programs, PhDs, except for very, very few actual career paths, it's a scam, guys. They're just there to make money. And most people that have those degrees don't have very good jobs to pay for those degrees. So if your job can't pay back the loans from your degree, you picked the wrong degree. That's really all there is to it.
The president also hosted the president of Poland this week in the Oval Office, and this week he announced that U.S. Space Command will be relocating to Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah. Bye, Colorado. You don't want to have voter ID laws? That's fine. We'll just move.
Creating 30,000 new jobs and hundreds of billions of dollars in investments. The administration's crackdown on crime in Washington, D.C. is working. Total crime is down 18%, violent crime is down 40%, homicides are down 71%, and carjackings are down 81%.
And the fun thing about this, guys, the real fun thing is that even DC's mayor, Muriel Bowser, had to come out and say that it was working and that she was happy that Trump was there. Trump came in and fixed her problem, and then she thanked him for it.
Acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy announced that the U.S. will return to the moon before President Trump leaves office. Very exciting.
That is quite the commitment. I'm here for it.
And HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy traveled to Capitol Hill this week and lit into liberal senators on the payroll of Big Pharma.
Yeah, we got the Pharmahontas story covered here in a little bit.
Who are partially responsible for the sad state of public health that the Trump administration has inherited. We are going to make America healthy again.
Yeah.
And the Office of Management and Budget estimated that President Trump's deregulatory push will save American businesses as much as $5 trillion over the next fiscal year.
Hell yeah.
And the administration released the list of jobs that will qualify for no tax on tips, which includes everyone from digital content creators to golf caddies to electricians and bakers. Check out the list and see if your occupation is on it. And the First Lady hosted the...
So if you guys want, you can buy me a coffee and leave me a tip here on X. I have tipping turned on. Apparently that's not taxed anymore. So Feel free.
White House task force on AI education at the White House this week. President Trump also signed his 200th executive order since taking office in January, which was an executive order to restore the historic name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
That's a lot of executive orders, guys.
No president has signed this many EOs this quickly since FDR nearly 100 years ago. This is truly a transformative presidency as the president continues to deliver results for you, the American people. Make sure you're following us on all social media platforms.
Yeah, guys, definitely follow them on social media. Their accounts are wild. Little White House posted also about the 200 executive orders. We got the weak years are over, the damage reversed, the momentum unstoppable, and America is winning again. I don't like the fact that this has to be done with the executive orders. Like, there are definitely better ways to do this, but the legislature is so impotent at this point. You look at the speaker and the leader of the Senate, like Speaker of the House and the leader of the Senate, they are just not doing their job. They're very anti-MAGA, which means they're anti-you and me. I don't even care what you think about Trump. Trump is not MAGA. He might be the head of it at the moment, but it will get passed to somebody else. And the general concept of making America great again and restoring her to her former glory does not rest on one person's shoulders. But we have a uniparty, guys, that is continually undermining our attempts to unravel the corruption and the nonsense that exists in D.C., that is changing our country for the worse. So it's unfortunate that it's being done all with executive orders, guys. But you know what? Right now, it's the only way that it's getting done. So our first main story for the week is on elections. This one was actually posted 7 days ago. But voter ID must be a part of every single vote. No exceptions. I'll be doing an executive order to that end. Also, no mail-in voting, except for those very ill and those far away, so the military. Use paper ballots only. President Donald J. Trump, Libs of TikTok, points out here, guys, that anyone who's against securing our election means that they want to cheat. If you remember the election results map, the Democrats took the states where voter ID was not required. It's quite odd how that worked out. It's strange that they are so against voter ID. Shouldn't you only want citizens voting? But then they try and make it seem like, oh, guys, there's never any fraud. You can't point out any fraud. No fraud ever happens. Illegal immigrants don't vote, except that in Chicago, they're trying to make the argument that ICE people being present at the polls is scaring away people from voting, when the only people that should care about ICE are people that shouldn't be voting anyway. And then when you say that there's no fraud, we've seen ballot stuffing in drop boxes by candidates. We've seen all kinds of other stories, guys, but this one might take the cake. California officials announced a 62-year-old woman was charged with 6 felonies after registering her dog to vote and casting multiple mail-in ballots in the animal's name. While the fraudulent ballot was accepted during the 2021 recall of Newsom, it was flagged and rejected in 2022. Department of War will take some time to get used to. Yes, it will, Karen. Also, they said the quiet part. They did. They continue to say the quiet part, guys. I think that just shows that they're getting more desperate. But yeah, election fraud. This broad literally signed her dog up to vote. What's up, Regina? What? Yeah, somebody literally signed their dog up to vote and voted in the recall. You wonder why they were able to count the recall so quickly and why Gavin Newsom beat the recall. Check how many dogs voted. How are we doing? I'm doing well. I hope you're doing well as well. I believe Karen and Shell are doing well. So hopefully everyone in the chat's doing well. And while we're here and taking a quick break, post out the live, guys. Let's get as many people. Let's see if we can beat last week. Guys, last week we had 1,057. Do you think we can pump the numbers up and beat that? I think we can. But that's on you guys. Share it out. Let your friends and family know. I need to stop this madness. That means we can register our dogs now? No, we're not supposed to. That's a felony. Let's not do that. Just because they're willing to do it doesn't mean we should. It's like, they are awesome. Retweet. That's right. Let's go 3,000. Hell yeah. Let's go to 3,000. You're doing good? Well, hopefully you're doing well as well. But good thing you're doing good, because doing good is a good thing to do. You know, like Superman, because Superman does good, but he also does good well. Okay, I'll leave that one alone. But guys, immigration. We get to immigration. We covered this earlier in the week, but we have the UK's Home Secretary in charge of borders, police, and immigration, folks. That's right, Miss Shabana Mahmood. The UK has fallen, guys. It has been conquered. It is ridiculous. The fact that they have a Muslim migrant that is in charge of their borders, police, and immigration. Please tell me how an Anglo country has been conquered to this extent. That was deep, a well of a thought. Regina, I sometimes think about weird things very deeply, and one of those happens to be proper word usage. So when people say that they are doing good, I like to ask what good they're doing, because typically people do well, but some people do good. Some people do good poorly. Some people do good well. You never know. Crispy registered my illegal turtle to vote. Is there a legal turtle that can vote? I'm questioning. That seems odd, but please don't vote with your turtle. Don't sink to their level, guys. But yeah, the UK is kind of borked at this point. I don't know how they come out of it. The only thing I can think of is that Conor McGregor gets elected as president to Ireland, and then they invade the UK and they take it back. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that makes sense. Turtles, I don't know. They might discriminate against turtles, even though they say they embrace all species. Shell corrected. She's well. Good. Fantastic to hear. Yeah, guys. Not only that, but we have some issues with some of the migrants in Europe. They seem to not understand the differences in culture. They seem to not understand what, asking first means. They are challenged when it comes to cross-gender interactions, we'll just say. They don't seem to understand what no means. They think that it's okay to do this. I am not going to read on stream what Phoenix Ammunition wrote, but just like Ada says, for legal reasons, I won't be sharing my opinion about this. And for my stream's reasons, I will not be reading Phoenix Ammunition's answer either. But I'll let you read it. And maybe if you want, you can leave a comment and let me know what you think. But the story is that hooded men are starting to attack young migrants in Spain over the assault of a 14-year-old. First, we have 13-year-olds and 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds. Do you see some common theme here, guys? They are culturally incompatible. They really don't belong. They should stay where they are, in their country where Sharia already exists. Stop trying to bring that to the West. We don't want it. And the people in power that are enabling it need to go. Now, we used to permit tarring and feathering. We used to permit all kinds of things of politicians that did us dirty like this. Maybe we should start bringing some of that back. It's hard to say. It really is. Ooh. Sheil. Uh-oh. Someone's autocorrect. Uh-oh. We have an autocorrect in the chat. It's okay. Frogs have been, as they are now, a far-right dog whistle. That's true. If you look at the Caecus Maximus, frogs are a far-right wing symbol. That's right, guys. Especially when they're wearing a red hat with white writing on it. Western values matter. They absolutely do. Stop this madness. Where are all the guillotines that Obama ordered? Do we have control of them? I think we need to start using them. Well, I mean, for what? Cutting cigars? I can't advocate for violence, guys. I won't do it. But we do need to start defending our women, especially our young girls in the West. We need to. Like, there's no other answer. We're allowing an entire culture to victimize the children. And for what? Like, what is the return on investment for that? I don't understand. You're traumatizing and destroying an entire generation of girls in Europe. Stop. We're losing dozens of them here in the United States. They're being murdered by people that don't belong here, that used to be in jail, that were let go by progressives. The whole thing just makes me angry and sick. So, I don't know, man, but no, for making uni, yeah, for people that mess with kids. I agree. I even talked about rotary wood chippers and all kinds of fun stuff, but you know, for trees, you know, simply enforce existing laws. Exactly, Karen. Like, there are so many laws already on the books that make sense, that would protect our children and our citizens. But we choose, for some reason, our government chooses not to enforce them, and I don't like it one bit. They go after the children. They always go after our children because they don't have children. That was a story we covered earlier in the week. Conservatives are having more kids than progressives. But that's part of why they've taken over the education system and many other parts of culture that allows them access to your kids. Because they don't have to have kids if they have access to your kids. They're going to turn them against you if they can. So try to keep them out of public schools, especially in crazy, crazy places. We see stories about California, Oregon, Loudoun County, Virginia, right? Where there was an entire SA scandal that happened there where a girl was raped in a bathroom by a transgender person who was moved and hidden in that school because they had offended before. And then when the father brought it up at a school board meeting, he got a little bit upset, rightfully so, but they arrested him. Like, guys, we have problems here too. Don't just think it's international. Sure, it's in Germany. Sure, it's in other parts of Europe, but it's here too. And a lot of it is empowered by wokeness. Guys, as Sam here points out, Democrats yesterday, I don't feel safe. Democrats today, leave my criminals alone. It is quite odd that they voted for open borders, then they complained about all the crime, and now they're defending the criminals against immigration enforcement. It's quite the strange development. I do not understand it. It seems to break all logic, but then again, liberal white women seem to break logic quite often. So I'd like to apologize on behalf of white people for unleashing liberal white women on the world, because they are a highly destructive force. They should be stopped at all costs. Yep, that's it. That's the story. Gavin Newsom here, again with the quiet part out loud, Karen and others. Immigrants help keep California's $4 trillion economy running. Trump's mass raids are stripping people of legal status, risk tearing it apart, gutting our workforce, and raising costs for everyone while separating American families. Well, that's weird. They might be South American families, but if they're here and they're not here legally because ICE is stripping them apart, then that means that they are here illegally. Because if you're here illegally and you have proof of that, then ICE will probably let you go. But yeah, the report is literally that our immigration policy enforcement is threatening California's economy. So to that, it seems like they are admitting that their economy is built on slavery, which most Democrat economies are, right? But they're saying it out loud now. They're basically saying, without cheap imported labor that I can pay less than an American worker, without them, my economy crumbles. It's like, so you're saying without indentured servitude or slavery, your economy doesn't work? Maybe your economy should change. Maybe it shouldn't work. Maybe you should start paying Americans a fair wage for that work. I don't know. But then we also might find out that that product that they're working to make isn't market viable. If you start paying an actual wage to the people that help produce it, and then it becomes unaffordable, well, maybe that thing doesn't belong in the market. It's kind of what the market's telling you, isn't it? I don't know. What do you think? Karen says tough. Yeah, it's real sad, guys. J.B. Pritzker came out and said that Trump was trying to steal the midterms by making illegal immigrants afraid to vote. Yeah, we'll watch this short clip.
This is a part of his plan to do something really nefarious, which is to interfere with elections in 2026. He wants
How is he going to do that?
to have troops on the ground.
Troops, okay.
To stop people from voting, to
to intimidate and stop people from voting, but who, JB, who?
intimidate people from going to the voting booth.
But the Chiron says this is about immigration enforcement. So you're saying immigration enforcement will intimidate people from going to the voting booth? That's weird.
So take note. That is what this is all about.
Okay, so the immigration enforcement is about keeping illegals away from the polls. Sure. That sounds fine to me because they shouldn't be there in the first place, my guy. Like, JB, you're an idiot. But that's fine. Politicians typically are, but we're always told, oh, it's the farm workers, right? We need people to pick crops to help the agriculture economy of California continue to run. It's always the jobs that Americans don't want to do. You know, low-tech jobs, low-skilled jobs, agriculture jobs. Well, as Rod here points out, they told us illegal immigrants or aliens just pick crops. Well, yesterday, 475. I've seen a number 450. I've seen 375. I don't really care. Hundreds, we'll just say, of workers were detained at Hyundai's multi-billion-dollar battery factory in Georgia. Not farms, guys, not fields. One of the most advanced battery plants in America. So you tell me, which is it? Crispy says, Mega, make employers great again. Hire American. Yes, hire American. Yes, build it in America. You don't want to pay tariffs? That's fine. Build it here. Build it here with American workers. There might even be some things that it makes sense to build overseas. Reduce tariffs on those things. If we don't want to make it here, that's fine. If it doesn't make sense to make it here, like who needs to make rubber dog shit in America? Make that shit in Hong Kong, like they brought up in Top Gun, right? Like super basic things that don't have strategic value, right? Things you buy on Temu and Wish. Slap a little bit of tariffs on those things. Let them import the cheap shit. But like for things you actually need in life, for things that have defense implications, for things that have pharmaceutical or national security implications, those things should be made here in the United States, and that's it. We should be tariffing the shit out of those products so that they cannot be made overseas. They can be made for someone else, but they're not going to be made overseas and brought here. We are not going to be dependent on them like we were in 2020, when we actually found out that a majority of the base stock chemicals used to make pharmaceuticals here in the United States came from China. So whatever happens in the future, guys, if China becomes an adversary and stops exporting things like pharmaceutical-based products, like rare earth minerals, like silicon wafers and chips, right? If they invade and take over Taiwan, TSMC, Taiwanese Semiconductor, is the largest chip manufacturer in the world. So if China takes possession of them, and we need those things for defense strategic reasons, what are we going to do? We need to have fabs here. We need to do certain things here. That's it. Karen says the Ozempic is paying off for that, JB. Yeah, JB and Ozempic. I'll have you flying rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. That's right. You know the scene. Your body is writing checks, or your mouse writing checks that your body can't cash, or some shit like that. Oh, man, it's been a while since I watched the original Top Gun. Good movie. Yeah, we get on from the battery factory, right? It's not always about illegals, but you know, when it is about illegals, sometimes illegals F around and find out. Hong Kong, yeah. Well, I just gave it to you because I wanted to, you know, let them feel okay about their hungness. But you guys, Maryland man, also known as the MS-13 gang member, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, got brought back from El Salvador because they didn't like that he got deported to his home country. He was afraid. So him and his attorneys gave them a list of 22 countries. And they're like, okay, bet. We won't deport you to one of those 22 countries. We have found you a new home, sir, and we are going to deport you there. This is the third-party location deportations that we've talked about in previous weeks. I love this move. I think it's wonderful because look what they're doing. They're like, okay, bet. We won't deport you to 22 countries. including Uganda, because we listed that one before. Apparently you don't like it. That's fine. We'll find you a new home. And they did. And that new home, everyone, is the African nation of Eswatini. That's right. Nobody knew where this was until this week. But ICE informed Kilmar Obrego Garcia he will now be deported to the small African country of Eswatini. This comes after Garcia was fearful of persecution in Uganda and 20 other countries, including his home country. Keeps getting worse. Yeah, the locals look nice. Like, what could possibly go wrong? The letter to his attorney was incredible. Yeah. I mean, talk about this letter. Let's read it real quick. Let's see. What does it say? Mr. Obrego Garcia, as you know, the United States seeks to remove you from the United States based on your final order of removal. Currently, you are designated to be removed to Uganda. Your attorney has informed us, however, that you fear persecution or torture in Uganda. That claim of fear is hard to take seriously, especially given that you have claimed, through your attorneys, that you fear persecution or torture in at least 22 different countries, including that entire list. Nevertheless, we hereby notify you that your new country of removal is Eswatini, Africa. Sincerely, Principal Legal Advisor, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's like, bet, okay, we'll respect it. Like, you have a list. We won't send you to one of those countries. That's fine. 4D chess, guys. 4D chess. He should have just stayed in El Salvador, but hopefully he enjoys Africa. CBS bent the knee. I covered this story last week. CBS selectively edited Kristi Noem's interview. We played the whole thing, where they omitted the fact that Kilmar Obrego Garcia is a violent, wife-beating MS-13 gang member, allegedly. So they just edited all that out and didn't broadcast it. Well, they got called out on it. They got called out on it pretty hard, both here on X and other places, but mostly here on X. Why? Because X is the news, folks. X is where you get the truth. So now that they got caught, they are now saying that they're going to stop editing on-air interviews. I don't believe them. In fact, I guarantee you within 6 months, we're going to be covering yet another story where the mainstream media is selectively editing another interview. He is writing checks. Yes, his mouth is writing checks, and his body is not going to like cashing them. That is for damn sure. HUD is also requiring proof of citizenship to receive Section 8 housing. I was shocked when I found out late last week, early this week, that it turns out people that are here illegally were getting Section 8 housing. Now, personally, I agree with Libs here. Libs says not a single penny of our tax dollars should be going to illegals. I completely agree. If you're here illegally, you should get zero taxpayer assistance. Zero. I do not want to incentivize you to be here. I don't want to incentivize you to stay. And I definitely don't want to give your kids instant citizenship. Birthright citizenship needs to end. Taxpayer benefits for illegals needs to end. The Maryland man will be a chapter of the downfall of mainstream media. Yeah, like the craziness of the fact that they were just saying Maryland man and not discussing that he is a citizen of a foreign country that is here illegally with a final order of deportation. They continued to refer to him as Maryland man. He is not a Maryland man. He is an El Salvadorian or a Venezuelan. I don't even remember, and I don't even care. But he belongs somewhere else, and he could have stayed in South America, guys, but instead, he has now landed himself on his way to Africa. So enjoy. Shell says, home safe. Glad to hear it. Welcome home. But yeah, more taxpayer benefits being cut to illegals. Love to see it. Immigration is over, but law enforcement is here, guys. And this is a little bit of bleed over. The first couple of stories are immigration related and crime related as well. But if Black Lives Matter, why aren't Democrat politicians celebrating the fact that not a single black person has been killed in D.C. since Trump sent the National Guard? Yeah, isn't that weird? Like, you start to really reduce the number of black on black violence, and no one cares. It's very strange. Everybody should care. Less human suffering, less death is a good thing. So why? Why don't they care? It's almost like they don't actually think that Black Lives Matter. But you know who does? Apparently, finally, Anna Paulina Luna posted this so I could see it, but the Washington Post, who I do not follow because mainstream media is trash, and the Washington Compost definitely is trash. But D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser issued an executive order that would welcome federal law enforcement officials to stay in the city indefinitely. She said that the police presence or federal law enforcement presence is actually helping. So, good. Do you think Chicago will do the same? I don't think they will, but they should because of stories like this, guys. Chicago mother was knocked out by a career criminal in a random attack. Why are career criminals still on the streets? Why do we let progressive judges, progressive DAs, progressive mayors continue to allow re-offenders back on the street? This lady, while she got beat up, could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse. Because we just recently had another reoffender that was let out on the street that murdered a lady. So this sucks, but it could have been worse. Chicago, though, definitely needs the help. Kara says BLM is responsible for so much black death and destruction. They are, but don't worry. The people that helped run it bought a bunch of real estate properties and enriched themselves based on donations. So at least they acted like every other NGO and charity. They took the money and they bought shit with it instead of helping the people that they say they wanted to help. So Trump posted this morning, and oh my God, are the progressives all but twisted about this one. It's funny. There's humor in it. The reference to Apocalypse Now is there. I mean, it's there. There was people upset about him wearing a cavalry hat. Come on, guys. There's people upset about the fact that it's like, oh, you're going to war with citizens in Chicago. My guy or girl, probably not a lot of girls, but my guys. Chicago is a shithole. Chicago is already at war with itself. I think the website's called Hey Jackass. Actually, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I want to pull up some crime stats real quick for Chicago. Let's give me just a second. Yeah, the website is literally called Hey Jackass, which is hilarious to me. Let's look at some stats real quick for Chirac. September to date, it is the 6th. There have been 7 shot and killed, 27 wounded, 34 total. Yeah, good job, guys. A person is shot every 4 hours and 19 minutes in Chicago right now as of the 5th. Oh, yeah, the irony is hilarious, but so unnecessary. Yeah. Year to date, guys, in Chicago alone, 251 shot and killed, 1,135 shot and wounded, 299 homicides. Like, I don't understand how the mayor can turn around and say they don't need help. This is being allowed to happen. It's being permitted. And hopefully, as federal law enforcement starts to turn this around, hopefully the mayor is appreciative, like Muriel Bowser, and realizing that your communities don't have to be this crazy. Crispy. Love it. Progressiveness is progressively getting more progressive to the point that they are now progressively digging their own progressive graves. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. Yeah, guys, go check out Hey Jackass. It has some great stats on it. Let's see. Close tab. Let's close tab. There we go. Okay, so people were real butthurt about this one today. I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago is about to find out why it's called the Department of War. Yes, a reference to the recent change. We will cover that here in a minute. But guys, this post is in reference to the sending of federal law enforcement to help out in Chicago, but people took it way too literally. They always do. Also, the Hodge twins point out that turns out it was just discussed and actually has been discussed previously. This is not brand new news, guys, but it came back around because everybody loves to bring up Epstein right now. But yeah, it turns out they're saying now that he was an informant for the FBI against Epstein. And you can see here, Pilot posted a little bit of a timeline for us. But 2004, he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago. 05, he reported his behavior to authorities. In 09, cooperated with the victims' lawyers. In 17, signed executive orders targeting human trafficking. In 19, he was arrested by during Trump's presidency. Weird. Why didn't Epstein get held accountable during Clinton, during Bush, during Obama, during Biden? Why was... Everyone's like, why doesn't Trump release the list? I don't believe the list anymore. It's been around so long, you can't tell what's been added to it, subtracted from it. Like, no one believes it anymore, right? They just want someone to put out the list, and they want to have names on that list that they probably planted there just for political reasons, just like they accused and convicted Trump of 34 felonies just so they can call him a felon. I don't trust them. Now, I don't think it's all fake, but I bet you there's enough fake in there where releasing it just won't go well. But guys, how much of our government is corrupt? How much of our government is messing with kids? We need to find out. But we need to find out the right way. You can see here, Jick Chansley, who was the shaman from January 6th. You believe Mike Johnson, the man who took a vacation instead of voting on releasing the Epstein files? I thought you was smart. I mean, Johnson is the one who disclosed this again, but like I said, it was discussed back in 2005. Trump was the whistleblower in 2005. This was discussed by Michael Wolff. There has been an old video, in fact.
The president has had relationships with Epstein in the past, and there are those Katie Johnson and maybe other victims who have accused Trump of being involved in things like this. In my experience, Trump supporters will not listen to anything along those lines. Obviously, we're not a court of law here right now, but are those claims of that case was dropped? It was dropped before it went to court. In your opinion, as a lawyer and your experience, is there anything you can say?
The video is low quality, Karen. It's not your eyes. I also need glasses, but that's a side matter. But it's your eyes are not the reason this looks bad. It's a very old, like, grainy video. It looks like somebody shot it with a Nokia 3310.
As to the validity of those claims, or whether or not there will be any more about that.
Nothing at all. The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
Yeah, weird, guys. Right now, the narrative is he's on the list. Right now, the narrative is he's obviously a person that touches kids. Right now, the narrative is he's obviously a bad person. But it's like, guys, he's the only person in power that has done anything to actually make progress in this. So at least a little bit of grace until we get more understanding. Like, that's all I'm saying. Karen says, Crispy, just let them talk and dig their own graves, or dog their own graves, apparently. Karen says she needs glasses. We covered that already. Shell says, cheers. 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 It's Saturday night, and we live in the greatest country of all time. 60 viewers, only 4 reposts. Yeah, repost the live, guys. Help repost the live. Save the lives. What is it, buddy? I don't know. But I'm hey, buddy. The show's live. You can just go find her. Buddy, just go look for her. It'll be okay. Look Look everywhere. Go look. I can't help you, buddy. The show's live right now. Come on, man. He's hilarious. He wants me to help him find his sister. Daddy, what? She's in the bathtub. She was hiding in the bathtub. Okay, well, everyone, we found her. We can move on with the show. We did it. What are you doing, kiddo? Just go. What are you doing? Please repost the live. Help save the village and my sanity. Help spread the word. Let's just do it together, guys. Come on. Let's beat last week. Last week we had 1,035, guys. We can do it. We can definitely do it. But yeah, guys, the narrative right now is crumbling. They're grasping at straws. They're hoping to make something stick, and it's just not sticking. But talking about reoffenders, guys, talking about reoffenders, this is insane. This person, not this person, that's the victim. This person is a monster that should have been behind bars. He slashed the girl's neck, and she died. Why was he even on the street? Oh, because progressives seem to think that no cash bail is a good idea, that letting offenders back out on the street is just fairness, right? Because of past discrimination, we should let them out on the street so they can go into the streets and commit current discrimination. That's crazy. But Sam points out with his post that it's because we're grown used to black on white crime. It happens all the time, so we're desensitized to it, whereas white on black crime rarely ever happens. That's why it shocks people. Yeah, it really does. But I really enjoy this meme because it points out the fact that, can you please not hit the camera tripod, buddy? Thank you. If it looks like there was an earthquake, there wasn't. My son just decided to kick the camera tripod. He should be behind bars, Shell. I agree. She seems to dominate hide and seek. She does. She is very good at it. He gets very frustrated when he cannot find her, and I find it hilarious. But in this one, it shows that black on white crime, huge. Black on Hispanic crime, not that big. White on black, very small. But look at what the camera is focused on right here. The camera is just zoomed in on only white on black crime. Then white on Hispanic crime, a lot higher, it turns out. We get in a lot more fights, apparently, with the Hispanics. Hispanic on white crime, though, is very high, but not as high as black on white. And Hispanic on black is also very low. It's weird. It's almost like, as Karen points out, it's almost like, statistically, blacks are more likely to victimize every other demographic. For 13% of the population, they are sure responsible for an awful lot. I'm not saying all of them. There are some good ones. I'm friends with some of them. But you know what? Statistics don't lie. And anyone who is a violent offender should still be behind bars or 6 feet under the prison. I don't care what race you are. I believe in Dr. King Jr.'s vision. I believe in treating people based on the content of their character and merit, not based on the color of their skin or their gender. And I know that's weird because everyone sees me as a white man and they think that I'm obviously racist and sexist. I'm a huge bigot, guys. I don't know if you know this. I'm a huge bigot. You can clip that out of context if you want. Don't give a shit. Because I don't care about the opinion of people who have different goals and values than I do. Because they're not going to help me to accomplish anything in life. So you can say whatever you want in my notifications. I don't care. But this guy should go ride the lightning somewhere. I hope some state decides that this person should probably get the death penalty. I'm not a huge advocate for the death penalty, but I also don't see the point in paying to incarcerate an asshole like this for the rest of his natural life at taxpayer expense. He's obviously proven that he cannot be in society, so remove him from it permanently. Makes sense. The legal way. That's why I support Trump's efforts to end race-based policies. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just math. It is. And apparently they don't like math either. But you know what? Another fun story from this week, guys. They murked the shit out of a boat with 11 people on it. Now, this also got a bunch of people butt twisted. They said, oh, how dare you drone strike a person without due process? And I loved pointing out the fact that Anwar al-Awlaki's son, who is a citizen of the United States, got drone striked overseas at a cafe, which killed innocent civilians as well, by Obama, and no one blinked an eye on the left. No one even cared. They're like, good riddance. Al-Awlaki's kid, good riddance. So we murk a couple of Tren de Aragua terrorists, and people are all butt mad about it. I don't get it. But you can see here that video. Like, they're just going. Apparently there was 11 people on this boat. And I like how they're also trying to argue it's a fishing boat. I don't know if you can see. At the back of that boat looks like it's at least 3 large outboard motors. They're like, oh, it's just some fishermen that are out there doing whatever. It's like, bro, that is like $100,000 worth of outboard motors. Like, fuck off. Karen says, go Navy now with U.S. Air Force support. That's right. So they're just like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. We're just putting wrong. We're going to get there, guys. We're going to deliver some drugs. Oh, nope. No drugs. No drugs, guys. Drugs are gone. Terrorists are gone. Turns out that executive order where he authorized military force to be used against the cartels and the narco-terrorists, it actually had some teeth. He's not messing around, guys. These cartels are killing countless Americans per year with their drugs. And also, as Karen points out, that's right. It's not gay if you're underway. That's fair. I did point that out to y'all, and y'all seem to really enjoy that, so I'm glad you do. Also, then the Venezuelans were like, bet, we're going to take some FT-16s and we're going to low fly one of your military boats in a show of aggression and intimidation to show that we're ready for a conflict with the United States. That's what they wanted you to think. And then the Department of Defense, now called the Department of War, if you look at the title up there, Department of War, folks, 2 Maduro aircraft flew over it. Well, this highly provocative move was designed to interfere with our counter-narco-terrorism operations. Venezuela is strongly advised not to pursue any further effort to obstruct, deter, or interfere with counter-narcotics and counter-terrorism operations carried out by the U.S. military. Yeah, guys, do not fuck around. You will find out very, very quickly. Don't do it. Do not escalate this thing. And then, the best thing that ever happened to this story, the best thing, happened today when J.D. Vance said, killing cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military. I agree. I think it's a great use of it. Much better than regime change in the Middle East. To which Brian Krasenstein, bless his heart, decided to chime in and say, killing the citizens of another nation who are civilians without any due process is called a war crime. Well, they're terrorists. They've been designated as such. They were in international waters, and therefore it's not a war crime, Brian. I'm sorry to tell you. It was a war crime for Obama to drone strike al-Awlaki's son at a cafe in public and kill innocent civilians with no due process. That was probably a war crime. So where were you on that one, Brian? But J.D. Vance's response, I don't give a shit what you call it. Oh, and then you see Data Republican there. Once you're in the big chair, may I slide my resume across your DMs? And then Gardner with the meme. So good. Oh, it was so good, guys. But then, there's so many good memes that came out of this, but I don't give a shit, Ryan. So many good memes came out of this, guys. So many. Karen says the U.S. Navy will not give way. Shell made my whole day. J.D. Vance is top tier. Yes. Top tier troll, guys. J.D. Vance can meme and troll with the best of them. Karen loves JD. I do as well. I think he's going to make a great president in 2028 or 2029. Yep. And last story in law enforcement, guys. Nick Sartor is posting here that Deputy Director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, just announced that the FBI arrested a member of the Sinaloa cartel-linked gang for taking fraudulent PPP loans. So again, fraud linked to the COVID loans. They defrauded taxpayers out of $236,000 involved in distribution of hard drugs and other criminal activities. So, yay, taxpayers help fund drugs and other things. Good job, PPP loans. They were so good. So good. No, not even a little bit, guys. So we're going to head into government. And I referred to this a little bit earlier in the show. Conor McGregor is out running, saying he's going to run for Irish president. I hope he does. And a new poll by the Irish newspaper, The Liberal, suggests that Conor McGregor is on course to win the presidential election in a landslide. Almost 60% of respondents say they plan to vote for him in next month's election. This would be huge. Guys, Ireland getting Conor McGregor might be the path to save the UK. Like, I'll just leave it at that. But, like, this could be fun to watch. So let's keep an eye out. Hopefully it doesn't go the way of the AfD party in Germany, whose most recent elections, they had no fewer than 7 people tied to the AfD party that have died in the time running up to the election. In, natural and mysterious, non-mysterious circumstances at all. Cartels financed by the U.S. taxpayers. Yes, they were. They still are. I guarantee you there is still some black ops budget program somewhere that the CIA, the NSA, or one of those alphabet agencies is probably still funding the narco-terrorist states. Guys, the amount of influence and regime change manipulation that our government has exerted over the rest of the world is disturbing. The more you learn about it, the more you should hate it. We've been effing around in South America, changing governments since the 50s, at least. Here we are 75 years later. How's South America doing? Real prosperous? Real not corrupt? No, it's pretty effed, guys. And a lot of that was us. So, is what it is. Sam points out to us, though, that we don't hate taxation enough. You think you do, but you don't. And did you know that the IRS has a plan in its employee handbook on how to collect taxes from people after a nuclear attack? That's right. They still want their money, guys. They still want their money. Kara says he fights King Charles at Buckingham Palace. I hope so. We had this little clip put out by Pete. Again, Secretary of Defense? No, because the Department of Defense is no longer. It's now the Department of War. So what would that make Pete Hegseth? That's right. He is now the Secretary of War. Not that I want war. Not that I think we should have more war, but I think we should be ready for war. Right? The best defense is a good offense. Right? Please stop running. Okay? And please stop playing on the stairs. I don't want one of you to get hurt. Okay? Okay? High five. Okay. They have so much energy. I don't know where they get it. They're a bottomless pit of energy. Yes, Secretary of War, guys. It's wonderful. Glad to see it. Hopefully we don't have to use it. But I'm tired of this defensive bullshit. I think we should be ready to very quickly crush any of our enemies and then move on. No more regime change. No more rebuilding after the fact. Like, if we have to go in because you act stupid, I think that our job should be to crush you, to kill everything that moves, to shoot anything that's not bolted down. And when we're done, take your natural resources and leave. That's it. I think that's the way that the military should be used. That's my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. And when your guys are typing out what you think in my comments, also, please post out the live. Help us get that view count up. I mean, you can only help, right? And don't forget to go to the profile, check out my webpage, find different ways to support us. We are also here Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the evening update. We're here Saturdays like we are right now for the weekly update. We'll have 2 vets and a gardener on Mondays, 8:45 p.m. Topic Exchange Tuesdays, 8:45 p.m. And Shell and Christina have their Bible Space Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Try to attend as many of those as you can. Show your support for the people in this community because we love you. President Trump's rebranding of the political party is genius. Let's see what he has to say.
I think in the last 2 to 5 years, really since Trump, but really recently, his branding of the Republican Party as common sense versus, what's the alternative? Uncommon nonsense. Yeah. He has scrambled the ideological deck. It's not really just conservative versus liberal anymore.
And what he's forced the opponent side, the opposers, the progressives to do is they refuse to take Trump's side on a topic. So Trump picks the logical winning side on things, and they have to keep picking the failing, losing side of 80-20 issues. It's so much common sense. This Tuesday is 9 p.m. Eastern. Oh, for topic exchange? Understood. This topic exchange is this coming Tuesday, 9 p.m., guys. But he's picking the side of the topic, and it's common sense that the average person will look at that topic and say, yes, that is the opinion that makes the most sense. And then the Democrats and the progressives have to pick the other side of it that most people are like, that's crazy. That's weird. Like, why are you defending narco terrorists? Why are you defending career criminals who are murdering people? Like, what are you doing? It's effective.
Not really just Republican versus Democrat. It's for him, and he talked about it at the inaugural. It's just common sense versus the alternative. And a lot of people who never thought of themselves as Republicans, who never voted, who rarely voted, who don't think of themselves as caring about politics at all, who wouldn't want to be called Democrat or Republican. They love to be behind the guy. Well, that's just a common sense thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The branding that he put on this is genius.
Yes, it is. And if anyone tries to argue otherwise, like, I don't know how you would make that argument. I just don't. Monday this week was Labor Day. So the Department of Labor posted this out. American workers first. We saw them take action against the battery plant in Georgia. We've seen other actions taken in other states against employers who are employing illegal immigrants in this country. We need to start seeing those employers held accountable, see them arrested and charged. We need to start seeing politicians, mayors, governors, House members, senators, anyone who supports illegal immigrants over citizens. Guys, accountability, please. And American workers first. American workers making American products made in America. That's the best way. Also, Texas is being the first, has now officially banned China and other foreign adversaries from owning farmland in the state. And here we see someone has posted the Chinese-owned farmland in America. You tell me why this makes sense. If you look at a lot of the red land, you can see that much of it is adjacent to military bases. Now, why do you think an adversarial government would want to own land that is directly adjacent to a military base? Signals intelligence, visual intelligence, human intelligence, like so many things that they would have access to if they were located directly adjacent to a military base. It's kind of crazy. China and Chinese-owned companies, like CCP-controlled companies, have no business owning assets inside the United States of this nature, especially real assets, guys. They have no business. So glad to see Texas is leading the way on this one. I hope other states follow suit. Please stop running up and down the stairs. Hey. Park it. You. Park it. Please sit down and relax for a minute. Okay? Thank you. I know you have been, and I asked you not to, please. Okay? Thank you. Yes, we appreciate your support, Karen. We do. Absolutely. So we're going to move on to DOGE, guys. We covered this also. But look, Michigan discovered that there are 4,277 ghost jobs. And that money was then being used for backroom projects. So Democrats in Michigan have been creating thousands of fake jobs and then laundering that money back to themselves. We just had to cut 4,277 phantom jobs. You guys realize what a scandal this is? People should be prosecuted for taking money that was appropriated for hiring employees and using that money for another purpose entirely. There are programs in there that don't even exist, and they have funded them. They also funded programs that were eliminated years ago, using them as fronts to launder money through. This was eliminated a few years ago, and they still fund it. So, guys, Democrat money laundering exposed in Michigan. What the hell? Michigan is falling. Wisconsin is falling. We've covered this. Like, Missouri is having problems. Oregon is having problems. Like, so many of these places that have big progressive cities, they're having issues. Pedro Dad's a great dad. Thank you, Linda. I do my best to make sure that they are raised well with good values by somebody who cares, because they're pretty great. But yeah, Michigan, corrupt as hell. Dearborn, holy shit. We covered that. I think, is that already? I think it's coming up in our culture section, guys. We'll get to that in a minute. But until then, let's finish. Cheryl says, save me. Yeah. Linda, Karen, hearts. Another 398 million taxpayer dollars saved by DOGE this week. In just 4 days, 74 contracts were canceled. We don't put toys in our mouth. No. Keep them out of your mouth. Got it? How do you think he ended up with marker on his mouth? Yeah, don't put those things in your mouth. That's crazy. Kids. And just let's see. This brings the year-to-date savings to more than $205 billion, or roughly $1,273 per person per year. I'm all about that. I hope that they don't take that and give it back to the people as a rebate. I really hope they just take those savings and they use it to pay down the debt. But unfortunately, the government, especially those in the legislature, keep spending money like it's going out of style and like nothing has changed, and there isn't a mandate from the people to stop doing it. They actually spent, like, what was it? I think Gardner said like $5 trillion in the big, beautiful bill. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Blue cities and the red states are a concentration of all the crime. Law enforcement is controlled locally. Yes, I had that debate with somebody. If you look at the election map of Nebraska, it is an entirely red state except for 2 counties. And those counties are just blue dots. And that is Lincoln and Omaha / Council Bluffs. Those 2 cities make their counties blue. And they have like half the population of the entire state. So it gives them a little bit of control that I hope they don't get to keep. So the redistricting efforts by some of these states might be more key than you think. So we get into MAHA, guys. MAHA had some good stories this week. We'll start with this one. They're not all about RFK Jr.
Canada's overall life expectancy.
Yes.
That might be the craziest statistic in the world right now. You've seen this, right?
Yes.
Since 1930, of course, it goes this way, because you fucking live longer because fucking technology and medicine. And then 2020 it levels, and then it starts to go down.
Weird.
It's down 2.5 years since 2020, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Unprecedented. What?
I wonder why, guys. What happened in 2020 that might be affecting the overall life expectancy?
Could that possibly be?
Especially when it was the disease itself primarily impacted the elderly. So that would have less of an impact. Because if you killed a whole bunch of young people, that really skews your life expectancy stat because infant mortality is calculated in that number. But what happened, guys? What did people maybe inject themselves with?
I don't know, Tony.
Weird.
So strange. It's not like there was a gigantic medical intervention that was forced upon the population during that time period.
Again and again, and booster and booster and booster.
Weird, right? Like, it can't possibly be that easy, can it? Or can it? As Karen says, F pharma. Yeah, pharma is not your friend, guys. They have bought and paid for politicians and many other things. They are not doing us much good. Sure, there are some exceptions. There are some basic pharmaceuticals that are very helpful. Oh, God. But then Tylenol came out this week. And now we have them doing research now into whether Tylenol linked with low folate levels during pregnancy might also be an indicator or a contributor to autism. We'll have to see how that turns out. But the progressives are all butthurt about that one, saying, oh, yeah, well, autism was discovered before Tylenol, so therefore Tylenol can't possibly be the cause. It's like, well, no one is saying it's the cause, my guys. No one is saying that it's the only, like, guys, the whole, it has to be all this or all that style of thinking of progressives is crazy. There's multifaceted causes and effects. It's just, don't argue with them. It's not worth engaging with them on. Trump finally seems to be opening up about the possibility that Operation Warp Speed was not as successful as he thought. So you can see down there in the highlighted, I hope Operation Warp Speed was as brilliant as many say it was. But that statement is a very sharp deviation from his old sayings, which was basically that Operation Warp Speed was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and that him developing the vaccine was the best thing ever. And a lot of people, including myself, have criticized him for his stance on the vaccine. But he's apparently starting to figure out that maybe it wasn't everything they say it was cracked up to be. Maybe it's linked to the decrease in people's life expectancies. Maybe it's linked to things like myocarditis in young men that is causing people to die of heart failure. Maybe. It's like, even when looking at age by age, it's insane how many excessive deaths are happening. Yes. Linda, markers are delicious. Gardner is amazing with the voice of DOGE. Again, blue states are doing the destruction of law-abiding people, keeping them on chains. Trump will fix sending the troops, praying for law to come back. Yes, we need to get more law enforcement. We need to make sure that the laws on the books are enforced and that citizens are kept safe and that people that don't belong here are removed. And then the increase in miscarriages and stillbirths. Yeah, guys, there are going to be generational consequences to this, most likely. We have not had enough time yet to see the scale of the impact of that vaccine. We will, eventually, we will. But you can see here, Big Pharma paid Elizabeth Warren over $10 million for her opinion. What opinions do you think they paid her to have? I really enjoy that play on words, because you would think that they were hiring her as a consultant and they just paid for her opinion. But maybe they paid her to have an opinion instead. When you spend $10 million, you expect something for it. So what do you think they expect for it? I don't know, but let's listen to her for a second, should we?
As Senator Dr. Cassidy said, you are effectively denying people vaccines.
We're not going to recommend a product for which there's no clinical data for that indication. Is that what I should be doing?
What you should be doing is honoring your promise that you made when you were looking to get confirmed in this job.
You're going like
and
this.
That is, you promised that you would not take away vaccines from anyone who wanted them. You just changed the classification of the COVID vaccine.
I'm not taking them away from people, Senator.
It takes it away if you can't get it from your pharmacist.
Well, most Americans are going to be able to get it from their pharmacy for free. Most Americans will be able to get it from their pharmacy for free.
The question is, everyone who wants it, that was your promise.
No, I didn't. I never promised that I was going to recommend products with which there is no indication.
She really wants them to keep giving it to everybody. Why? Why do you think that is?
You said...
And I know you've taken $855,000 from pharmaceutical companies, Senator.
Did you hold up a big sign saying that you were lying when you said that? Because you are the one who said you would not take them away. Now, Senator Kennedy...
I'm not taking them away from anybody.
Secretary...
You want me to indicate a product for which there is no clinical data?
Senator,
is that what you want?
Yeah, she does. She does, because pharma wants her to want that.
Secretary Kennedy, you said you wouldn't, and now you did.
I'm not taking them away. Everybody can get access to them.
No, they can't walk into a pharmacy the way they could last month and get access to
It depends on the states.
A year ago,
But they can still get it. Everybody can get it.
Ago, it did
Everybody
not
can
depend.
get it, Senator.
So look, let's move on.
I'm keeping an eye on my boy right now. He's acting like he's going to stab my daughter with a marker. You better not. He said, I'm not. You're playing doctor? Then what are you going to stab her in the head for? Nothing. What are you treating her for? You have a what in your head? A cricket? Holy cow. Okay, he is trying to cure her of a cricket in her head. I don't know how it got there. I don't know how a marker fixes that, but you know what? Kids' imagination is wild. Let's move on after getting, yeah. I don't like this woman that basically is profiting from the pharmaceutical industry. I do support Kennedy. Yeah, Linda, nobody likes Pocahontas. Like, absolutely not. Support Bobby, absolutely. Let's move on after getting destroyed. Yeah, I like how he pointed out that she got a bunch of money and she just kind of glazed right over that one. So that was America's Post. And this was a great cartoon here contributed by Sam. So this is basically how it went down. RFK Jr., she says, vaccine denier. And then she's just got Big Pharma's hand up her butt. Love the cartoon, Sam. Thank you for sharing. We get into our energy and science. Energy and science, guys, all in a week's work. $1 billion investments in the energy grid infrastructure, $457 million in power transformer facilities, and $35 million on the DOE's national laboratories. Trump is making energy and innovation great again. And we need to, guys. We really need to innovate more when it comes to energy. We really need to innovate more, invest more, because energy is the industry that supports all others. Linda says, reminds me of my siblings and then my kids. Beating up siblings are a great way to self-defense later on. True. True. I only intervene when it gets serious. Yeah, guys, Department of Energy keeping us real current. We have a drill, baby, drill. The U.S. oil production hits an all-time high under Trump. So more energy. Gas prices are down, guys. All gas, no brakes. Gotta love it. We had Labor Day weekend, guys. How was your price at the pump? Seemed like it was actually fairly reasonable. Now, do I wish it was lower? Oh, sure. I always wish fuel prices were lower. I have to put diesel in my car. Like, I wish that was lower. I think $3.59 is the current price that I'm paying locally here. I wish it was $2. I wish it was $1. But, you know, that's just not realistic right now, especially when you look at real or inflation-adjusted pricing. The fact that fuel prices are still where they're at after the extreme amount of inflation that we've had over the last 5 years, it's actually kind of impressive. So supply and demand is definitely functioning and helping us with that respect. Drill is back. New York is still $3.49. Is that for diesel or is that for gasoline? I'm just curious. I only ask because I have to use diesel. I don't have to. I use diesel because the car that I chose to own is a diesel vehicle. It's a Passat. I've got one of those terrible Volkswagen diesels that, you know, was cheating on emissions. Because emission standards are dumb for gasoline. Okay, that's not too unreasonable, I guess. I think 329 or 319 is what regular unleaded is here right now. We move on. SpaceX completed its first in a series of burns for station keeping for the International Space Station. So this is a first for Dragon. Dragon had not been used for this purpose before. They had used Cygnus and some other spacecraft to accomplish this in the past. So it's good to see that Dragon is now being used for more and more. SpaceX is performing more and more critical functions for our government, keeping things in America, in-house, because SpaceX manufactures in America. They hire in America. They do most of their things here in America. So I love to see it. Diesel is better. Well, I don't know about better. It is more efficient in a car that has to travel long distance. Sure. Crispy says diesel's $3.10 in Tennessee. Not bad. Not bad at all. So now that we have a couple extra folks, Crispy, good to see you. Linda, good to see you as well. Please make sure to post out the live. Get as many people in here as we can. We want to try and beat our last week's number. We got to get that number up. We're not that high. We need to pump it up, please. Better miles per gallon normally, Linda. That's true. I usually get between 40 and 45 miles per gallon with my full-size sedan, my Passat. That is much better than I would with the gas. I think gas ones get like 30-something. Yeah, so station keeping now for the International Space Station. Another use for Dragon. Also, Falcon had its 500th launch and landing of an orbital class booster. So since 2016 until 2025, just over 9 years, guys, we have had 500 orbital class boosters that have launched and landed. Think about the environmental impact savings. Think about the cost savings to SpaceX not having to build 9 Merlin engines per booster. So 500 times 9, that's 4,500. Is that right? Something like that. That's thousands of Merlin engines they didn't have to make. That's hundreds of rocket bodies that didn't end up in the Indian Ocean in the little narrow like space trash corridor of the Indian Ocean. Guys, I don't know how environmentalists hate these guys. They use kerosene or methane, depending on which rocket you're talking about. It burns fairly clean. Of all the things that they could do, they're not using solid rocket boosters that burn crazy solid rubberized propellants that are probably not great for the atmosphere at all. In fact, if you want to, you can watch Everyday Astronaut on YouTube put out a video where he went through each of the different rocket fuels and how their environmental impact is. It's actually kind of an interesting video, so go check that one out. He also went down all the combustion cycles for rocket engines. He's done a history of the Soviet rocket engines. He's done a bunch of really great videos on space. So if you're interested in space at all, I highly encourage you to go check them out. But guys, check these shots out. Like these pictures this week from Starship Flight Test 10 are some of the best pictures that have ever been taken by man. Karen says, go SpaceX, just pure domination. Yeah, guys, SpaceX has launched over 90% of global mass to orbit this year. Like, think about that. 90%, one company here in America, 90% of all mass to orbit, SpaceX. He's awesome. Yes. But these pictures, guys, are just gorgeous. You have a shot here showing the Ascent vapor trail. You have this shot showing the shaded clouds, the curved Earth, guys, because the Earth is not flat. I don't care what you say. I don't care what the flat earthers say. But if you're ever bored in the middle of the night, definitely go check out Conspiracy Theory YouTube because it's hilarious. You also have this, the plasma interactions, guys. The fact that we can watch these live on television is crazy. And then this picture is my favorite picture of all time that I've seen yet for SpaceX. The colorizing from the heat on the stainless steel is gorgeous. The plasma building up in the sunlight is gorgeous. The shot of the Earth is gorgeous. Like everything of this picture is just amazing. SpaceX is the future, according to Linda. Says also Audrey, patient of Neuralink, is the first woman. She is doing wonderful. Great new in medical history. Neuralink, Neuropod. She's posting on X. Nice. Yes. Elon's companies are doing amazing things. Elon's companies are all designed about getting us to Mars, making life interplanetary. If you look at each of his companies, they all will contribute to getting us into space or settled on a different planet. Boring Company, digging subterranean tunnels. Tesla, electric motors, electric vehicles, robotics. XAI for AI and controls, because having an 8-minute delay between sending a signal and it getting received, or 10 minutes, whatever it is, to Mars, depending on where it is in its orbit, you don't want to wait that long. That robot has to be able to function. You have to be able to give it a command, and it has to know based on that command what to do in the time that it takes for that signal to get back to you, so that then you can send a follow-up signal. You're talking about like a 20-minute round trip. We can't wait that long. So AI is going to be involved, right? Neuralink, mind control of those robots. Like there's so many things. If you look at his companies, guys, he's definitely planning to take us multiplanetary. So we get out of space and science, and we are going to get our energy and science, and we're going to get into culture, guys. This is another story about Michigan. Michigan is falling, but look, there's a little bit of hope, maybe. Apparently, us complaining, you and me and all the people on X complaining about Dearborn Heights being the first municipality in the history of this country to put Arabic on their police patches. But apparently enough people were mad about it, but now Dearborn Heights is reversing course and removing the Arabic police patch. Now, I bet you they've already printed some up. I bet you they've handed them out to people. I bet you're still going to see them around. But it's good to see that at least when we have an issue and you bring it up, we can make enough noise that it can have impact and change. The pictures are breathtaking. I agree, Shell. Beating every nation on Earth. Yes, SpaceX is. Linda says Mr. Musk is written in history. All of his accomplishments are a feature of mankind. Yes, and I love to see it. People are real butt mad that he's the richest guy on the planet, but it's like, would you rather it be him or Bezos? Bezos just builds big boats and gets wives with fake boobs. Like, I would rather have the crazy guy who's developing interplanetary travel things and just knocking up a bunch of ladies. Like, that seems like a much better use for the richest person on the planet. What do you think? He's trying to do something that is actually for the betterment of man. Linda says, absolutely crazy for this. Go back to their country. Absolutely not. Yeah, the fact that they even considered putting Arabic on their police patch is insane. We need to deport all of them. I guarantee you a lot of them are part of that 55 million visa holders that we talked about last week. Cancel all the visas. Send them all back. We'll find a way to make it work. Like, I just don't care anymore, guys. Just cancel them all. Denaturalize any citizens that want to support Sharia law in this country. Denaturalize them and export them. That is my solution. I don't know. What do you guys think? Kara says synergy. Yes, Elon Musk companies are very synergistic. Kara says Trump should declare English as the official language. They absolutely should. And it's never happened. And it probably never will happen. But they need to declare two official languages. They need to declare English and American Sign Language. Part of that, as Jenica, the data Republican, brought up, if you take away or don't designate ASL or Braille as an official language, what ends up happening is all things are just going to be written in English and blind people won't be able to read it. Deaf people won't be able to communicate with official people. Like, I understand there is some need for flexibility on that, but it should all be based around English. Yes. But the main reason why they have never designated that is that would mean that all government transactions would have to be done in the official language. So when you go to the DMV and you see, oh, take your driver test, what language do you want that test printed in? Would not be a question anymore. It would literally be, hey, here is your test. The test is in English. If you don't understand English, that's too effing bad. Which is really how it should be. So I completely agree, Karen, that we should designate English as the official language. But you know what? I don't want Trump to do it. I want the legislature to do it, but I know they won't. So it will probably take Trump in an executive order, another one, because our legislature is incompetent and impotent. But it's absolutely not acceptable for Sharia law in America. I agree, Linda, completely. In aviation, it's basically the official language worldwide. It's also the official language just in business for the most part. Like, there's many sectors where English is treated as the effective official language, but it has never been designated as such by the United States government. Sign language is amazing and no words, so English is also taught in English. Yeah, ASL is actually one of those really cool things that was developed here in America. So we also move on. Don't forget, guys, that everyone that's an environmentalist, you got to remember this. The elites, Leonardo DiCaprio, Kim Kardashian, all these people, they do things, and then they tell you you shouldn't do things because of the environment. But never forget, Kim Kardashian flew from LA to Paris because she wanted this one cheesecake from a specific hotel and then flew home. And you drink from paper straws to save the world.
Nope.
Yeah, if you actually think that the things that they demand you do are to save the environment, you're kidding yourself. In Europe, they teach English as a second language. Not surprised. What's the first now? Arabic? Lauren Chen, also in the culture news. I didn't have the story pulled up for the culture section, but Lauren Chen is back on X and back talking again because all charges were dropped. No charges were actually filed. Sorry, correction. The investigation was closed into Tenet Media for Russian intervention and interference. No charges were ever brought. Nothing ever came of the investigation. They were just slandered. Tim Pool and everyone was slandered. And then it just quietly went away. It's weird. But she's back. Says young people are being taxed to provide for seniors who are more likely to be buying homes than they are. But boomers still don't understand why Gen Z wants to burn the whole system down. Yeah. It's not a good sign, guys. The boomers are holding on to the properties they have, and they're buying more and more of them. Meanwhile, they are too too unaffordable for most people in Gen Z and after to afford. So there is this big division between the generations, and the current generation, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, are feeling like they really just got the shaft. So Karen says, one of my favorites was the fake interpreter for a few years ago. Yeah, the fake interpreter was doing it, not doing ASL. Yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, in general, Lauren Shed's right, though, on this one, guys. A lot of the generations are just very angry with each other. And then we have this story. I only grabbed the end of it. I don't care about the other parts that were covered today. If you follow it, the lady that was involved in this incident got doxxed. It was not a Karen. Her name was, it was a Cheryl. So Cheryl is now the new name for unhinged ladies that are undesirable. So just remember that. Karen is now a safe name. Cheryl is now the unsafe name. But guys, this kid, his dad, just, in my opinion, real beta bitch, gave up the home run ball that he rightfully got to an angry Cheryl because she just got real aggressive. Committed battery, by the way. The lady really should be charged with battery. But he quivered and gave in. So this kid lost a home run ball that his dad had retrieved because he was afraid of a Cheryl. But the Phillies made it right. The Phillies then said, okay, bet. That Cheryl, she actually ended up getting fired from her job. Other consequences have ensued. But after giving away the home run ball, the Phillies brought Lincoln, the young fan, into the locker room where he got a signed bat from Harrison Bader. I don't know who that is. I'm assuming it's the guy, the professional athlete. But either way, he gave up a home run ball, but he got a signed bat and other things. And now he has people on X that are offering to take him to the World Series and many other things. So it was a real tough day to be a Karen. Karen, it's not a Karen anymore, though. It's a tough day to be a Cheryl. Cheryls are now ruined. Take that. But the boomer issues have some truth. They do, Karen. They do. There is truth in it. Shell says, yay, Karen, you're complaining to the manager to fix the problem. We are saved. Linda says, yes, the baseball. What an amazing story. God bless. Yes, it was good to see that got corrected quickly. And a free RV. That's true. And a free RV. This is winning, guys. Benny Johnson posted this video, and I'm going to blow it up, and I'm going to make it bigger, and I'm just going to show you this is winning at life. Not boss babes, not two-person working households, not anything else. This is what men go out and fight the world for. This is winning. Hello? Whoa! Yep. The excited shouting of a kid saying daddy. Like, kids, that's what makes it worth it, guys. That is everything in culture. That is winning. I don't care what you have to do to get there. Find a way to get there, because that is amazing. When my kids unsolicited tell me that they love me, when they give me hugs, when my son, who's hilarious, when I say give me a big hug, he'll give me a big hug, but then he'll start patting me on the back, because I used to do that to him when he was very young. So he'll just squeeze real hard and then just start patting your back. It's the cutest, most hilarious, and rewarding thing on earth. I love it. But you see here, women still want to blame men why they are single. Vera asked men to apply to be her partner, but says just 3 of her 5,000 applicants met her criteria. The headline, woman gets 5,000 applications to be her boyfriend and is still single. Can one of the women in the audience explain this to me? Like, how does this make sense? How does this make any sense? Like, I know the account is women being awful, but like, really, like, it does really seem that way. Like, how does this make any sense? Why is it that women are so angry and hateful against men? Like, what happened? I don't know. It just seems strange. Also, go ahead and post out the live and submit your memes. I'm going to be getting to memes here in a few minutes. So get the live posted out. Let everyone join us. Submit your memes so that we can enjoy them together. It's endearing. Buddy is awesome. Yes, he is, Shell. Yes, he is. Karen says, karma is real. Yeah, it tends to be. So do the right things, guys. Do the right things. Treat people well and with respect. Linda says, yes, amazing love. Always, absolutely always is the first thing to wake up to. Oh, yeah, it's wonderful. They all want the top 5%. They all want the top 1%, Karen. Like, let's be honest. It is probably the top 5 or 10%. But it's funny that they don't want to share their men, but they all want the same men. And they think they all deserve it. They all think they're 10s. They all think they're the hottest thing since Adriana Lima. They all think they're a Sydney Sweeney. They all think that they're perfect, right? Because 10 out of 10 implies that they're perfect. There's no room for improvement. Most people are average, guys. If a person tells you you're a 5 or a 6, you're average, and that's okay. Like, I'm probably a 5.5 or a 6 on a good day. Like, if you look up some of my pictures, like, you can probably find out, like, when I dress in a suit, like, I can probably be a solid 6, 6.5. Like, the people that tell you they're an 8, 9, 10, like, bro, no. And then they think they deserve that. They think they deserve higher than them. So a girl who thinks she's a 9 or a 10 thinks she only gets a 10 or a 9. Dude. Nah. Just find someone who you can relate to. Like, relationships are hard, people. They're hard. They're difficult. They're complicated because you're dealing with another human being. But the point is, every day you're supposed to wake up and make the decision that you give a shit about the other person and that you care more about their outcome than yours. You work hard together to make sure that the other person is taken care of. And if you both actually care about the other person, then both people are taken care of. The issue becomes when one person turns selfish and the other person is still caring about the other, then two people are caring about one half of the relationship and nobody's caring about the other. That breeds resentment. That usually ends a relationship. It's terrible. Linda says, yay, memes. Yes, memes are coming. Shell says, I don't get it. Steven says, hey, everyone. Hi, Steven. Good to see you. Don't forget to get a meme in if you want. You got to DM those to me. I'll share your memes at the end of the stream. Karen says, the eye of the beholder. Yeah. But if you ever watch Whatever or Fresh and Fit or any of the male podcasts, like, every girl thinks they're a 9 or a 10. They think they're an 11. It's like delusion. Delulu land. I see what shirt you have on. You're handsome in it. Yep. This is a Tom McDonald shirt that was purchased for me by somebody in the audience. I do appreciate it. Thank you. It does fit very well. Thank you. You sized it correctly. And it ebbs and flows. Yeah, relationships aren't always like Disney fucked everyone. Like, Disney screwed up everyone's mind. Everyone thinks that life is happily ever after and there's no challenges ever. It's great. You get married, there's a nice wedding, and then there's zero problems from then on. It's like, yeah, no, that's not how that works. Whatever happened to people caring about people, not being vain and into themselves? Well, you got to remember, selfishness is what our entire culture is based on at this point. The internet and everything else breeds it. As Karen points out, the devil is a Democrat. We are now going to week 4, number 1 on the charts for Tom McDonald. Devil is a Democrat. You're glad it fits? Yes, it does. Whatever happened to people caring? Yes. So you are the last of a dying breed. You are not the last. We are still together. There are still a few of us out there, Linda. My significant other just wasn't one of them, which is why I'm now single again. You want one, Shell? They are available on Tom McDonald's merch store. Speaking of, did you ever email them to figure out why I got duplicates? Maybe I can send Karen the duplicate. Disney's going down to hell. Yeah, Disney is awful, guys. They have totally corrupted everyone's view of what a relationship should be. Oh, why did I try and close? Did I close that? No. Okay, good. Yeah, guys, hormonal contraceptives. I'll cover this real quick and then we'll move on. Tens of millions of women take these every month or every day. You're messing with your hormones. You're messing with things. They've shown that it affects your mate selection. They've shown that it affects your political choices. And then you wonder why there are so many issues. In fact, it's so ubiquitous at this point that you can find levels of this in our water. Because as you take it and piss it out, it goes into the water system and you can't filter it. So now female hormones are everywhere. We wonder why our men are getting more feminine. Other than social pressure from third wave feminists, making them think that if I just capitulate and act like another girl's best friend that I can get with her, and they almost never do. They almost never do, guys. It's not worth it. But how about you just be more responsible with who you sleep with, and don't take this stuff, because it probably is contributing to making you a progressive, awful, angry white female urban liberal. So don't be one of those people. You should probably, unless absolutely required to, not take hormonal birth control. Don't do it. Don't do it. Steven says, we live in a digital world. People became disappointed in real life. Yeah, but real life is actually amazing if you just get out and do it. If you just interact with real people, if you just go to real places, if you just experience God's creation, it is actually pretty amazing. So go do it. Did I just win the lottery? Oh, Karen. So this was my favorite feel-good story. And now tonight, I didn't buy any tickets, guys, but tonight, the jackpot's up to like $1.7 billion or something like that. Like, it's getting absurd, but I wanted to include this anyway because it made me feel good. As somebody who recently went through a divorce and had their assets totally fucked, but I did negotiate the right assets to keep. I gave her the cash and I kept the houses. I have 2 rental properties now because I was able to negotiate for those. If you want to know how I negotiated for those, and you want to know how I negotiated to have full custody of my kids, you can come over to the Men's Empowerment Network found in my profile at the link there, patriotdad.org. You can go to the link there, Men's Empowerment Network. You can sign up for a consult call. I can help you go through a couple of weeks worth of calls and information that I can go over with you to help you maintain emotional stability and get the best results that you can. Check it out. But yeah, man wins $273 million jackpot right after his wife divorced him. You love to hear it. You love to see it. Life's good if you want it to be. Yes, that's true, Karen. It absolutely is. Most things, it's a mindset choice, guys. Same thing with relationships. You go into a relationship, if you wake up every day and you think about how much that person that you are in a relationship with takes advantage of you and they hate you and all these negative things. If all you're ever thinking about is negativity in your relationship will probably fail. You'll probably resent the other person in it. Or you could wake up and go, hey, I'm happy to be here. Let me do what I can to make sure they have everything they need taken care of. And let me invest in that person and enjoy what I get in return. You could think that way instead. It's a lot about mindset, guys. They're destroying the family foundation, all these hormone pills. Yes, Linda, they are. And the policies. They are replacing men in the home with welfare. They are doing all kinds of bad things. Shell said she did buy 2 tickets today, and I'll let you know if we win. Linda says, this is wonderful, Dad. That is wonderful, Dad. Mazel tov. Yes. Can't wait for the U.S. to win. Yes, us to win. That's right. Crispy's going to just paste himself into that one. By the way, all of the photo bombing on the pictures is hilarious, Crispy. Keep it up. And we did cover this already. Somebody brought it up, but The Devil is a Democrat. Go check it out. Go download it. Go support our boy, Tom. I've got the shirt. See there? Hangover gang. Yep. Devil is a Democrat. Still number 1. Still over Eminem. Still over Cardi B. Going into week 4 at number 1 on the Billboard charts, guys. Absolutely crazy. Keep it up. Tom and his songs are always wonderful to hear. His last album is fire. It's like a country style album. Love it. Listen to it in my car. It's wonderful. And the last thing in culture before we get to memes, guys, women getting L's. Having a husband and kids doubles a woman's likelihood of being happy. Don't you want to be happy? Don't you want to have twice as good a chance as being happy? Well, maybe you should find a guy, settle, and go have kids. And choose to enjoy your life. So just do the right thing, guys. Can't stop listening to it since I got home. Thanks. You're welcome. Because I have that CD in my car. I listen to the album when we're driving around. Yep. I wish that I could do reactions to some of the songs on that album. However, I did ask, and Tom respectfully requested that album tracks that do not have videos that are released on YouTube, he does not want them on YouTube. So I am not going to be able to do reactions to them. But I'm a Rock is my favorite song from that album, guys. Go buy it. Check it out. It is a great one. Crispy, nice shirt. Thank you. Try for 43 years, asking for divorce. Yeah. I've been there. I was married for 14 years to the mother of my 2 kids. It did not work out. We get into memes, guys. I was in the Navy, so this meme hit real close to home. You always got to have your coffee cup. That's how you know the supervisor. You can also see it if you look at like a road maintenance crew. The supervisor is the guy doing no work and carrying a coffee cup. But how can you tell he's a new chief? Because he's supervising like a chief. Chaos in the background, guys. Absolute chaos going on. And what's he doing? He's sitting there with his coffee cup, smiling, giving oversight, as chiefs do, because they should. Oh man, this one was so good. Women getting L's. Obese is the N-word for plus-size people, to which Fat Genghis replied, bigger, please. Or bigger, please. So you got to get the hard R in there if you want to be real offensive, I guess. So bigger, please. Oh, that's why I use fat fucking slob. Yeah, because you don't want to be offensive, right? So you just use that instead. Yeah, the really offensive version, bigger. Yeah, the hard R gets you every time. Obese women need to put down the fork and pick up the pace. Yep. Why cover up her name? It's a parody account. Yep. Yeah, guys, this is up there. I really love this. Another Top Gun reference. Yeah. Chat bad. Guys. I don't know where the creativity comes from to make memes like this. I just don't have it. But I enjoy it. Once you ruin your reputation, you can live with total freedom. Why? Because you don't have to worry about, do you have to apologize? Do you have to care what other people think? Well, if your reputation's already shot to shit, you don't really have to care, guys. You don't. So we're going to pull up our wonderful. I already got that one, Gardner. We got this one. We're going to do this one. Yeah, Gardner, I already got your meme with JD shushing Brian. That one was good. We're going to bring up this real quick. Oh, yeah. Chicago claimed that they were built by slavery. Yeah, because they're part of the South now. So they went ahead and corrected the map and just colored in Chicago as part of the South, because they were built by slaves. They started off it was like some ceremony or something. They started off with an indigenous person saying that they were on like stolen land or some shit. Somebody upgraded the, hey, check this out meme. And by somebody, it looks like Gardner. But he's pointing him at the phone, and then what's the message? Oh, yeah, it's JD saying, I don't give a shit what you call it. Oh, Gardner. That was a good one. Holy shit, that's scary. That's a terrifying one. You have the Cheryl from the baseball game. My precious. God, that's hideous. Holy buckets. Yep, those were all good. Let's see what Karen's got. How many we got, Karen? All right, Karen, let's go. When she's cute, but then she starts telling you how liberal she is. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The transition to retard is good. Oh, my God. Oh, Karen, that one is so good. Karen says it's a myth. The guy was a Frenchman. Fair. I blame white people for everything. It's cool. You're so open about your mental illness. Oh, God. Some of these are so good, Karen. I'm laughing. Linda liked that one. $1 trillion propaganda machine. Memers. Is that the best you could do? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's the fun thing about X, guys, is that X has allowed us, you and me, to meme the government. The $1 trillion propaganda machine. Now the government has to bend to our will because of memes. The phone one has 64,000 views. Hell yeah. Yeah, Gardner's really stepping up the meme game, guys. Check it out. All right, whatever happens, we'll always have the memes. Yes, we will. Just remember, guys, we always have the memes at the end of the show. We'll always have the memes. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask why hasn't anyone been arrested yet? Yes. Why hasn't anyone been held accountable for the nonsense in government? Oh, Karen included this one. I'm sorry. Karen, this is a Cheryl. It's not even a Karen anymore. It's a Cheryl, but that's fine. The Karen's, this is like a baseball trading card. Karen ball snatcher. Give me that ball. You should have said, give me your balls. That would have been a better version of this, I think. Also terrifying. Don't let that kind of a Karen anywhere near your balls, gentlemen. How do I make this bigger? Well, I don't know how to make that bigger. Phrasing. This is one of my favorite all-time memes, guys. Ladies, just remember, explain and imagine how much propaganda it took to convince women that somehow this is oppressive. Somehow Benny Johnson's video was oppression, right? Male patriarchy and oppression. Enslavement of women. Chaining them to the home and the stove. I tell you what. If my lady was waiting at home in a summer dress, or maybe just an apron, you know, if the kids are out of the house. I don't care what I got to do out in town. I don't care who I got to kill, what job I got to do. This is how you do life. This is winning. Totally winning. I don't know how Disney and the internet and culture convinced women that this like with a decent guy, like I don't know how this isn't the goal. It absolutely should be. I don't understand it. What's up, Karen? Love you all. Yes, we love you as well. Anyone else? We got Shell. Is this something I can share on? Let's see. Progressive is a nice word, but change is... Progress is a nice word, but change is its motivator, and change has its enemies. That's true. Yeah, change did have enemies, and those people blew his, relative's brain out. Ah, yes. I don't give a shit, Brian. Yeah, Brian, we just don't give a shit. It's kind of like, was it Margaret? I think it was the last one. Oh, this is a good one. RFK Jr. just pummeling senators. Meanwhile, just filming. Oh, Shell, that's a good one. Where'd it go? What happened? Suddenly the DMs like all shifted. There we go. Oh, last one for the Brian. Oh, God, I don't give a shit what you call it. Yeah, from the top rope, guys. That's actually The Rock, if you recognize the tattoo on the arm. That's The Rock, but that's good. Gotta love it. Do we have it? Oh, Crispy. We got it. We got one. Finally submitted in a DM. This one is creepy as shit. Crispy. My hemorrhoid watching me put Tabasco on my scrambled eggs. Crispy. We love you, man. We love you. Are you okay? Oh my God. Linda, family values are a blessing. Yes. Love you, Karen and Titan. Shell says, love you, Linda. There's a lot of love going around in the chat, guys. Love to see it. Love to see it. Who else? Anyone else? Oh, wait. Karen has a new submission. So somehow it's a video. It's me doing the memes with the Karen's ball snatcher, and I'm being nailed to the cross like Jesus was. Yes, this was I couldn't make that video, the GIF bigger. I don't know why I click on it in the DM. It just doesn't open. It just plays. And it wouldn't open in a new tab. But thank you for including it so everyone else can enjoy it. Yeah. Thank you for watching, by the way. Love you guys. But yeah, guys, that is going to wrap. We have 10 minutes until the conversation with Adrian Dittman. So remember, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, evening update at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Saturdays, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, so that we can wrap up and finish for the conversation with Adrian Dittman. So Saturdays, weekly update, 7 p.m. You have Monday, 8:45 p.m., 2 vets and a gardener. Tuesday, this week is going to be 9 p.m., normally 8:45 p.m. for the topic exchange. Shell and Christina have the Bible space, 4 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. Post out the live. Share it with everybody. Can we get a final... Wait. She has crickets in her head. What? Get the marker. Ah, yes. The crickets in the head is a terrible, terrible affliction. Thank you, Linda. We love you too. Guys, support. Go to the website. Follow the links. Do whatever you can do. We love you guys. You could only listen to Nate, heard that and died laughing. Yeah, guys, the crickets in the head was hilarious. Like my kids are amazing. I don't care what anyone says. You're not going to convince me otherwise. But guys, you all have a wonderful rest of your weekend and a great week. We only got to 150. That's fine. Guys, we will do better next time. We've really got to beat that personal best. Last week, we were at 1,057, guys. We got to get it out wider. But you know what? We'll be back. We'll keep going. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, you can find me here, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I will catch you on Monday. God bless. Bye for now. Love you.